We have a healthcare system that costs too much and does too little. The industry and the country is going to demand that we do more faster for our patients and for our families. The fundamental breakdown in healthcare is coordination, collaboration, and communication.
It's not just the doctor or the nurse or the pharmacist or the social worker. The patient is an equal partner.
What's remarkable is how poorly we connect patients and providers to actually practice as a team.
It's dealing with a variety of technologies and having to look in various places for different pieces and parts of information around what a member may be experiencing.
In many ways, your bank knows more about you and where you are than the healthcare system, which is crazy.
We have to think differently about innovation and the application of technology.
Technology's led the way in other industries. We've got to make sure that technology is seen as a real partner for healthcare.
We need to look for a new platform, which is where customer relationship management comes in.
CRM is a great unifier that brings together this community of caregivers so there's complete fluidity of information sharing.
The integration of EHR information, claims information, credit information, environmental information is all relevant to better patient outcomes.
It equips our associates with a 360-degree view of what's going on with that member. And what that does is that builds trust.
If we can leverage technology and bring people together so that patient relations are managed in a more intelligent and holistic way, we're not going to bend the cost curve, we're going to break it.
If we meet them where their health is, will result in overall lower total cost.
And if you can lower costs, improve outcomes, and make people happy, it's a pretty good business value proposition.
We chose Salesforce because Salesforce was the first step, and it was an important first step.
We're leveraging Salesforce to make sure that patients are informed and they're engaged directly, empowering them, if you will, to help themselves heal.
Well, hey, Dreamforce, good afternoon. How are you guys doing today? I want to know, with a show of hands, how many of you joined us at our healthcare and life sciences reception last night at Americana. Did you guys have a good time? Woo! Awesome. That's awesome. Well, my name's Susan Collins. I'm really excited to be here with you today to talk about how Salesforce is partnering with customers like yourselves to radically transform the healthcare and life sciences industry. I'm going to be joined by some amazing executives and people who are going to share their stories about what they're doing to support the triple aim, right? That's what we're all interested in: improving outcomes, lowering costs, and improving patient satisfaction. And I think this is going to be good fun. But before we dive in, of course, we want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. You guys do amazing things for patients, for their families, and I hope this whole week you feel the respect and the gratitude that we have for what you do that impacts so many people's lives. It's just incredible. So hopefully you feel the love of the Ohana. And of course, it would not be a Salesforce presentation without a forward-looking statement slide. In this case, what we're going to talk about today is so exciting, even our lawyers wanted to be involved. In all seriousness, we're going to show you some incredible stories about how Salesforce is used in the real world, but we're also going to talk about some future state vision. And so you have all been cautioned now to make your buying and your investment decisions based on currently available product. Is that fair? All right, well, let's dive in. So yesterday, we heard Mark Benioff talk about the fourth industrial revolution and the massive change and, frankly, some disruption that is hitting all industries. And here in healthcare, we're not immune. Now, the good news is, here in healthcare, we've also had a fair amount of practice with some change, yeah? Especially in the last few years. But we know that despite massive investment in technology, most of our data still lives in silos. We don't make it easy for our employees to collaborate and connect. And so great service is often the result of pure, kind of individual heroics, right? And in these days of having, computers in our pocket and being able to summon almost any product or any service with the touch of a button on our phone, it's a real challenge to meet the expectations of all of our stakeholders, whether we call them members or patients, employees, anybody really. And we know that our current model is unsustainable. Here in the US, we know that we're approaching 18, 20% of GDP with healthcare costs, $1 trillion in waste. And we know that a lot of those resources don't improve outcomes. It's quite a lot to take on. Look at all these amazing customer and partner logos. These are the folks who are using the Salesforce platform to transform patient experience, employee experience, and member experience. This is your proof that it can be done, that all of those challenges that we face in this space can be solved. And I think that's pretty exciting. So how are they doing it? Well, they're using intelligent CRM. They're leveraging the investments that they've made in other technologies and adding a layer of engagement to create connected, collaborative, and personalized care environments, and they're doing it at scale. Super, super exciting. And this is, luckily for us, something that we've been doing in other industries for a really long time, almost 2 decades now. When we think about the problems and the challenges that we have in the healthcare and life sciences space today, the reality is many of these types of problems have been solved in other industries. And you'll see a whole bunch of different solutions built on the platform here on this slide. Our Health Cloud product, really exciting. We're going to talk today about intelligent service. We're going to talk about personalized marketing, all of it on a secure and trusted platform that has been delivering these kinds of solutions for almost 2 decades now. And I'm going to tell you, in case you're sitting there thinking, well, that's great, Susan, that you have all this experience in other industries. But when I was a hospital executive, I had this habit. And I used to get up from my desk in the afternoon and I would take a walk around our campus. And I got to be honest with you, it was a fairly chaotic environment. I would walk through the halls and we'd see patients lying on gurneys, maybe wondering if they'd been forgotten. I would walk by our operating rooms, and God bless them, I'd see our surgeons pacing outside that room because it hadn't been turned over yet. We used to do things like serve meals to patients who weren't in their rooms. The solutions to problems like these have been solved in other industries. And so as an example, you can take the technology that has been used in high-tech manufacturing to remove friction and cost from those types of industries, and you can apply them to solve for problems like that. Likewise, I'm sure we've all had the experience of browsing online for some product and perhaps abandoning that item in a shopping cart. And when you log into your Facebook account, what's the first thing you see? It's that pair of sneakers, right? And it's sitting there, maybe it's $10 off. That same technology that's leveraged in retail for that purpose can also be used to present relevant information to a patient who might be looking online for certain symptoms, for a doctor of a certain type, right? And we know that we could invite them to learn more, for instance, about a clinical trial that might be beneficial to them. Super, super, super exciting. And of course, all of our platform services, right, delivered with the incredible learning that we get from Trailhead, the intelligence of Einstein, all of this has led to a pretty exciting new category of technology. And our friends at Forrester call this enterprise health clouds, right, an entirely new category, very, very exciting. And our friends at Forrester are also very proud of their graphic. So I can't make prominent the Salesforce bubble, but it's the top right little bubble in the top right-hand quadrant. We're pretty excited about that. And the reason that we're excited is because the reason we're in the top right quadrant, is because what our amazing customers are doing on the platform to support that triple aim. And we're about to hear an amazing story of one of those customer trailblazers. Please welcome my colleague Kane Burke, Director of Industry Marketing, who's going to tell us about Mount Sinai. Round of applause. There you go. Nice to see you.
Susan. Great to see you too. Thank you, Susan. So today I want to talk to you about Mount Sinai, which is one of the oldest and most respected integrated hospital systems in the United States. And I want to tell you a little bit about a partnership that they've created with Medicaid in New York in order to manage the population health of over 700,000 individuals, with the goal of reducing avoidable hospital readmissions by 25% over the next 5 years. And the way that they're doing this is they're using CRM. They've built an incredible tool called Patient 360 on top of the Health Cloud platform. And what that does is it allows them to collaborate across the entire care team so that everyone, from hospital doctors to primary care physicians, even ultimately down the road, social support agencies like soup kitchens, can enter information about the patient, and everyone in this extended care team can have a 360-degree view and collaborate around the patient no matter where the data live. It could be in Epic, it could be in Prism, it could be in eClinicalWorks, it doesn't matter. They have access to all of that information in one place. So today what I want to do is I want to show this to you, and I'm going to be playing the role of a primary care physician. So let's take a look. I have a new patient that's coming in, and her name is Shauna Green. And I haven't met Shauna before, so I want to learn more about Shauna and what's going on in her life and what her needs are with care. So I'm going to start with Patient 360, and I'm going to click the search button and search for and pull up a record. And you can see immediately on both of these screens all of this information about her health. All of her health information is right here in a single view. Everything that I need to know in one single place. And this is incredibly powerful, and it's made possible by these lightning components that you see on the screen. You know, you see medical history, surgical history, encounter, medications. Each of these are a Salesforce lightning component. And what makes them so powerful is the fact that they're able to pull information from almost any source or multiple sources, apply logic, put that information together, and present it to a primary care physician like me so that I have everything that I need in one view. Let's take a look and drill down and look at her medications. When we go into her medications, we can see everything that she's been prescribed, everything that she's taken, regardless of which medical record system it lives in, and who the prescriber is, and where she's getting that medication. Now, on our first visit, I'm going to want to know as much as possible about Shauna. So I can click on the clinical notes and take a look at the record of her last visit as well as her prior visits. And from this, I'm going to learn that Shauna's 62 years old and that she's struggling with heart failure as well as diabetes. Now, the first thing I want to do as a physician is make sure that she's enrolled in the right care programs. So I'm going to go over here now and click on populations and check to make sure that we have her in a diabetes management program. And it turns out that we do, so that's great. And now I want to show you something else really interesting, which is if we scroll down and look at care gaps, what we've been able to do is take information, again, from multiple systems, apply a set of rules and logic, and then determine that there are gaps in her care. So I can look at this and see that she hasn't had a recent A1C test. And we need to do this test at least quarterly so that we can monitor her blood glucose. So what I can do now as her physician is know that when she comes in, I need to talk to her about this test. We need to get it taken care of on our care team. And what's really incredible about this is today we can do this. But as Mount Sinai continues to build out their capabilities of Patient 360 on the Salesforce Health Cloud platform, they're going to be able to add incredible new functionality. For example, sending Shauna a text message for a test that she hasn't taken yet so that she can get that taken care of when she's on her way into work. Because we're going to know the test she needs, what her address is, and where that nearest available clinic is for her to get that done. So we're going to be able to add those capabilities, which are going to make the care experience easier for her to engage in. So now I'm ready as a physician for Shauna to come in. I've gotten all of the information that I need in a single view, And now I can sit down and have an informed conversation with her. And that's how Mount Sinai is helping to innovate. Back to you, Susan.
That's amazing. Thank you. There you go. 700,000 patients connected not only within their health system, but also within their community. That's extraordinary. You're going to hear more from our friends at Mount Sinai because Kash Patel is going to join us on our panel in a minute. But you know, it's not just people these days that can be connected. These days, we can also connect things like devices. We can provide intelligent service. And so our next customer Trailblazer story is all about the intelligence service and amazing results that our friends at IDEXX have had. Kane, welcome back. Come talk to us about IDEXX.
Thanks. So let me start by asking, who in the room has a dog at home? Can I just see a show of hands?
Oh, a lot of dogs.
Anybody have a cat?
I have cats.
Cats? Does anybody have a horse?
I have a horse.
Any horses? I see some horses out
A few
there.
horses, yeah.
Anybody have a cow or a pig?
There we go.
There we
Good.
go. So IDEXX is an S&P 500 company, and they are one of the largest providers of IT and diagnostic solutions for the animal healthcare industry. And what IDEXX is doing, and I'm so excited to share this, is really incredible, because what they've done is in order to better serve their customers, they've connected over 150,000 devices. And this allows them to provide predictive sales, intelligent marketing, and proactive customer service to everyone that they sell to. So let's take a look now and see how that happens. Great. So here we are in Salesforce, and as an account executive for IDEXX, I've just logged into my Salesforce homepage, and I can see here I have this auto reorder opportunity that's popped up. And so the first thing that I'm going to do as I'm going about my day is say, wow, I've got a new opportunity. That's awesome. I want to drill in and take a look at this and the other opportunities that I have available to me. So I'm going to do that, and I can see here that I've got several opportunities. They're in various stages, but the one that I'm most excited about is this auto reorder because it's just shown up for me. So I'm going to click that and learn more about what this opportunity is. And as I drill in here, I see that United Animal Hospitals has a piece of our IDEXX equipment, and they have, as part of that, heartworm test kits. And I've been alerted automatically through the Internet of Things that they're running low on these heartworm test kits. So as a savvy salesperson, I'm going to look and see who I need to talk to at United Animal Health. And I see that as I pull that up, I'm going to get information about Kate Kingston. And Kate is the clinic manager. So what I want to do right now, because I'm a savvy salesperson, is just place that call and see if I can close the sale. So I'm going to call Kate.
Hello, United Health Partners. This is Kate.
Hi, Kate. My name is Kane, and I'm giving you a call from IDEXX. I was looking over some details with your account, and I noticed it looks like you're running low on heartworm test kits.
Oh, it's been raining cats and dogs over here, literally bananas. So let me take a look. You're right. Thanks so much for calling. I didn't even know we were running low. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Do you want us to send you some new test kits?
Please. We're having a heartworm clinic this weekend at the vet clinic, so thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Great. I'll get those right out to you as soon as possible.
Thanks again.
So just like that, right from Salesforce.
Yeah, you can clap.
I've automatically identified an opportunity, been able to make a call and close that opportunity in just a minute or so. And so let's see what's powering this incredible capability. So let's take a look. And what we see here is a visualization of what's really going on in the back end. And IDEXX has worked with Harding Point, which is an incredible Salesforce partner, in order to build this capability out using Heroku. And so using Heroku, they've connected these 150,000 devices. Harding Point has built this custom ingestion and processing engine so that they can receive information from these connected devices, know what's going on with them by analyzing it, and then take intelligent action. So they're able to create that opportunity. They're able to open that case when a service call is needed. They're able to say, oh, there's a marketing opportunity here that's available to you. So that's the type of incredible power that Harding Point has been able to give to IDEXX by connecting those devices, using Heroku, and integrating it all with Salesforce to create those automatic opportunities, events, and tasks. So now let's flip back and go back into the account executive view and take a look at what that IoT stream looks like from the perspective of the AE. And we can see that if we scroll down, we have several different types of events that have come in. We have a sales opportunity that's happened, a service warning that's been closed, and the 200 heartworm test kits that I just closed. So as I'm sitting here, I have a live view of everything that's going on. And what's incredible is, even as a new event comes in, I'm able to take a look at it. So here I see that it looks like there's an opportunity for a new nurturing journey. There seems to be a piece of diagnostic imaging equipment that we've sold IDEXX, that IDEXX has sold, that we now have installed, but our customer's not taking full advantage of it yet. So how can we help them out? Well, we're gonna wanna put them on a first-time user journey so that they can learn how to use this equipment correctly. And what's so important about that is I want to make sure that they're succeeding. I want to know that they're getting the ROI that they expected to get when they purchased this product from us. So to put them on a journey, all I have to do is click one button, and now they're on a marketing journey. And what's amazing about this marketing journey is it's laid out so that it adapts and responds to them as they respond to the journey. So depending upon how they take action and engage, I'm then able to engage them in the most effective next way to move them along the path of learning and use so that they're effectively using their new diagnostic imaging equipment. Now, let's go back and take a look again at this IoT dashboard, and we see that we have a new event come in. This is a service malfunction. And as an account executive, I certainly care about this because I want to know that these types of issues get resolved. So let's take a look at our service department now, and we can go over to Tim, who's already on the phone with Kate, trying to find a time to resolve the service issue. And we see here, when we open Field Service Lightning, we have a full overview of everything that's going on with all of our service agents that are out in the field. I know where that agent is. I know what they're educated on and what they're capable of doing. I know what is in their trunk kit and what they have in inventory so that they can execute on repairs. And so I have all of this information in one dashboard. If I'm Tim, I don't have to get on the phone and make multiple phone calls to multiple repair individuals to see if they can go out and take care of this repair. I can instantly take a look and see who is most available and most able to make this repair. And in this case, it's Alan. So I'm going to assign Alan to make this repair. And just like that, he's now been dispatched and alerted. So let's take a look and see quickly what this shows us from Alan's point of view as the repair person being dispatched. So we're going to take a look at Alan's iPad that he's got with him in his car. And here we can see he has this new request that's come in to fix the hematology analyzer. And he looks and he says, oh, you know what? The clinic is very nearby. So I'm just going to drive over there now and see if I can take care of this. So he's got the map. He drives over. He takes a look at the equipment. And he says, okay, I can see what's malfunctioning. I know what needs to be repaired. Let me look at my inventory. Okay, I need 2 parts in order to do this. So I'm going to flag those parts as things I'm going to use for the repair. It's going to take them out of my inventory. So now back in the service center, I still know Alan's up-to-date inventory in his car. And now I can go ahead and complete the repair. And once I've completed the repair, I can collect a signature from the customer showing that the repair is complete. So Kate's going to sign for us. And then as soon as that is done, we can then close out this case. And this closes the case for Tim, this closes the case for Alan, and it also is going to give me an alert back as the account executive that the case has been closed and resolved. So I no longer have to worry about my account not having a functioning piece of equipment. And that's the power that IDEX is able to bring to this experience using Salesforce so that they can provide that proactive sales, intelligent marketing, and preemptive customer service. Back to you, Susan.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kane. Good job. Can we agree that the world would be a better place if every company worked like that? That machine could be fixed potentially before anyone at the customer location even knew it was broken. That's incredible. These are a couple of examples of how our customer trailblazers are working with our partners to deliver solutions to real-world challenges. And they're doing it today. They're doing it all over the world. What I'd like to talk to you about next is our amazing partner ecosystem. We have incredible, incredible talent in our partner ecosystem. They can help with application design, implementation. They can help with integration, right? Big issue in our healthcare and life sciences space. You saw an amazing example of what Harding Point was able to do. And what I'd love to do now is invite another very, very special partner to join me up here on stage. You've all, I'm sure, heard about Optum. You're not going to get to see the logo, apparently. But please welcome Sarah London, Chief Product Officer of Optum Analytics. Nice to see you. So you guys are lucky today out here in this audience because you will be the first people in the world outside of our two companies who hears this announcement. Optum One is an incredible advancement in population health. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about it from you, Sarah. Can you tell the audience what we're doing together with Health Cloud and your analytics?
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you. Very excited to be here. We are literally within weeks of launching our next generation care coordination platform connected to Optum One, built on Health Cloud. Yeah. And I think we're very excited about this launch for two reasons. One is it allows us to leverage the work that we've done over the last decade to build sophisticated analytic algorithms and predictive models, and then to connect that now to the workflow that is critical to bring that to life and allow our clients to move from the insights to action. The other reason we're really excited about this is what we see in the future, which is being able to infuse that analytic intelligence into the workflow and start to, over time, develop a differential opinion about what actually works in healthcare and how we can drive to value. So we're very excited about that. We've had unbelievable support from the Salesforce team, from Susan and her team, the Health Cloud product team, the ISV industry team, and partner teams. And I would say the other reason that I am most excited about this partnership is that I think healthcare, as we all know, really desperately needs disruption. And it needs micro innovation, like every industry does, to evolve. But right now, healthcare needs macro disruption and macro innovation. And I think the idea of innovating at scale is something that Optum believes very strongly in. I think something that Salesforce also knows how to do incredibly well. And bringing those two perspectives together, we really feel like we're going to be able to change the game.
Pretty cool stuff, huh? Can you give her a big hand? And look, through the miracle of technology, my clicker now works again. That's fantastic. You've already heard from a couple different customers. As I mentioned, we're going to be joined by a couple more, including Brian Leclerc, who's the CIO of Humana, and Narita Mills, who's the SVP and president of Ashfield. So if I can invite my panel to come join me. Come on up, guys. Make yourselves at home. Awesome. Fantastic. You guys comfy? Great. So you did see a little bit already from Mount Sinai. We have Kash Patel, who is the VP of Pop Health for IT. And also we have Ken Grady from IDEX, and you saw that really awesome demo too. And what I'd like to do now is just ask them to share a little bit about the vision and what they're doing with the platform with all of you, because these are amazing stories of transformation that I hope you will take home as inspiration. They're doing amazing things for their patients, for their customers, for their members and their employees. So Brian, I wonder if I could start with you. You have done amazing things for your members and to connect with those members in an entirely different way, and I think you've had a big impact as well on your staff, on your employees. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've done with the platform and where you think it's taken the business?
Sure. So thank you for the invite and thank you for the partnership. As you said, we found Salesforce is a very critical part of our overarching strategy to help engage our members in meeting them where their health is. It's an important view around that 360-degree perspective on where their health is, so that no matter where we engage with them, whether it's in the home or it's in the clinician's office or it's telephonically, that we understand where they are and we use analytics to bring the best point of engagement to them and the time they need it the most. And in the Salesforce service arena, we use it in our service organization as a way of engaging them, not just around their health, but their everyday needs as a health plan and providing them with that.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Yeah. And Ken, we had an amazing demo from your team earlier. You're a global organization, and most of your customers are small business, correct?
That's right. There are over 28,000 veterinary clinics in the U.S. alone, and tens of thousands more globally that our field staff, our professional, our veterinary diagnostic consultants, and professional services veterinarians call on a daily basis, and our field service reps, as you saw in the demo, out helping to manage and improve and maintain the sensitive diagnostic equipment in those clinics.
Yep. Awesome. And Rita, you guys are doing such amazing work in patient services, and that's a hot topic in the pharma industry these days. Can you tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing?
Sure, absolutely. Similar to what Sarah was sharing, is that we service the pharmaceutical industry, and there's a lot of information that's coming from a lot of different places. When did the medication ship to the patient? Has the benefits investigation been completed? Will the patient have a copay, and how much will that be? Does the physician know that the patient is struggling with their adherence, and getting feedback about what's happening with that patient? So by leveraging Health Cloud, we're able to pull all of that information together and then also determine what's working. Because oftentimes when a pharmaceutical company wants to develop a patient support program, it's this broad brush approach. Everybody gets the same number of interventions, but we're not entirely sure what's really working. And so through Health Cloud, we're able to really tailor to what the individual needs are going to be and make sure that the patients are getting the right message that's going to influence change in behavior at the right time.
Super, and we know, right, that adherence is so important. We know if somebody falls off therapy, the outcome, even if we get them back into treatment, the outcome is never as good as it could have been, correct? Yeah, so that's exciting. And Cash, you guys have done such amazing work. We saw a little snippet of what you're working on at Mount Sinai. Tell us a little bit about the vision, and you guys had no prior Salesforce experience, I think. Is that right? Is that fair?
Thank you for the opportunity to talk about the work. Yes, it was actually, this has been our first engagement with Salesforce in general. We started with...
Welcome to the Ohana.
Thank you. With the CRM product, with some patient sort of facing or physician databases and some basic sort of CRM. As we were learning more about the technology, we formed a sort of deeper understanding around the Health Cloud solution. And as we were formulating our strategy around how we're connecting all of these disparate entities that we don't own necessarily, we don't have control over, and how are we going to sort of present a secured and informed layer of sort of data and around that piece. So that's when we learned about Health Cloud, and we sort of figured out that this was the right place as a solution and the framework to sort of go forward, and we're sort of moving ahead, and the journey has been I think hard and tough, and we're learning as we're sort of going along. But now, it's been live for 5 months, and the value is absolutely there. And every time we touch on a new partner's door and we show them, we go through a training, it's just, when can I get on next? When can I get on next? So a lot of excitement.
700,000 patients, and you stood that up in 5 months?
Pardon?
700,000 patients in that short amount of time. That's incredible.
Yes, it's a lot of data, and as we're sort of rolling it out, we're continually loading more and more different types of data, clinical data, social data, We're beginning to sort of reach out to community organizations about the data they have, and we're using Health Cloud to sort of present it all in some unified manner. So yes, it's been pretty amazing.
So how many people in the audience have heard, oh, healthcare, interoperability not possible? Here's your proof. Amazing, amazing, amazing work. So now I wonder, I think, probably we have some folks in the audience who are thinking, well, that's great. These are very innovative, forward-leaning firms, and they've had amazing success. But we know that this is not all easy to do. Ken, you've had a long experience with Salesforce. Let's maybe get some thoughts from you about the kinds of challenges that you think you guys have uniquely solved so that we can share with folks about how to bring that home on Monday.
Yeah, we started our Salesforce implementation with really the foundation, with really the sales expansion, with focusing on building that 360 view of the customer.
Sure. Kind of the classic Salesforce use case,
Kind of a classic
right?
Salesforce use case, absolutely. And what we've done since then is we've really come to build on that platform and leverage the power of the integration ability that we get with Heroku.
Yep.
Looking out to partners in the App Exchange, you mentioned Harding Point earlier, to find folks that have already written those connectors that can accelerate our success.
Sure.
And we see that we're now, we've expanded from the Sales Cloud, we're now expanding into Marketing Cloud, and you showed some of that in the demo, in Field Service and in Service Cloud, and really thinking about it as a systematic, kind of a step-by-step approach as to how we want to build on that power of that information we have about the customer engagement and put it in the hands of our sales force, of our sales team, and our marketing teams to help make sure that every conversation we have with the customer resonates at the right time with the right message as we launch, the next innovative diagnostic product in the industry.
Yeah, and you're doing that at incredible scale.
Yeah, we implemented about 1,200 users in 18 months.
1,200 users in 18 months? That's amazing. Good for you. That's great. Brian, you also have had a fair amount of experience with the platform, and you've had a really interesting data strategy as well. What sort of challenges do you think that our audience should take home and understand in terms of what you guys have solved at Humana?
Yeah, I think that there are probably three ways I think about it very simply. You have technology, you have process, and you have people and or talent. And in our case, we were really looking for a capability that had a high degree of interoperability that would support our service strategy. Customer relationship management for us is a very broad brush view of patients, because we are providers, as well as members in the form of the health plan. And so we have capabilities. We have an internal solution we call Care Hub that we think of as our clinical relationship management system. So we needed to have a cornerstone, an anchor store, if you will, around our big CRM strategy, and that's why we chose Salesforce. But what it meant was we had to have the ability to scale and innovate, and interoperate obviously was a very important part of that. So we've been on this journey now for about 2.5 years. We are servicing millions of our members. We have 15,000 users actively using the CRM service solution, and that connects through this underpinning of what we call our C360, which is a 360-degree view of members and patients across our universe. And we're supporting that implementation with somewhere in the order of 300 microservices. So we weren't just thinking about something that was going to solve a near-term problem. It was, where is the puck going, and where was a partner who understood innovation, interoperability, and who could help us drive that value as fast as we were willing and able to go. And that's, for us, an at-scale solution that allows it to connect to a lot of the other supporting capabilities that we need to deliver care in the home, for instance, or in the pharmacy, or in a mail order space. So great experience at scale, and we can turn capabilities every 2 weeks through our Rapid Force relationship with...
Every few weeks?
Every few weeks through our Rapid Force solution. So you don't have to be thinking about 12 to 18 months anymore. If you're large and at scale like we are, you can actually operate within weeks now.
That's incredible, isn't it? What's the impact been to the business?
Well, and we look at this as, in order to deliver an end experience to our consumers, that's probably when you think about people, culture is a big part of what we are doing.
Sure.
We've been on a culture journey around focusing on the consumer and starting with the consumer and working back. Whether that consumer is a patient or a member, it's sitting in their shoes and then developing everything you do back from there. So Rapid Force was a process change. Implementing CRM service was a technology change. Cultural change was how do we go and become a consumer-focused organization. But we believe that you can't service someone in the digital age or in the home unless you also provide an experience for your associate base.
Absolutely.
So just one little sound bite, the average number of clicks that our associates, we call our employees associates, perform today in the service space is 55% less than they have previously. So 55% less.
Is there anyone else in this audience who would like to reduce the workflow for their associates by 55%? Do we think that that would have an impact on the business? I think that's amazing.
But again, you have to have the experience in order to deliver the experience that you want for others. It's also a reduction of average handle time. And we've chosen to reinvest those savings, millions of dollars of savings, into activities where we're engaging individuals around their health. So we've created the room, the space, if you will, to engage our members, even in our service context, in meeting them where their health is. And that gets back to your example of the wow factor, where you reach out to someone at the time they need it the most, they expect it the least, and they walk away feeling like, wow, that was a great experience. And that is what builds trust. And with trust comes engagement and brand.
Absolutely. That's an amazing story. And Kash, I know you have also sort of positioned Mount Sinai for the future. You have some exciting plans in the hopper. Anything that you could share with our audience about where you're going next?
Sure. And as we're learning more and more about health cloud and sort of maturing and stabilizing, we've now begun to start a pilot or program with marketing now. So Marketing Cloud, where we've been fortunate. We're working on a use case around marketing, which we've never done before, about getting data from streaming data, sentiment data, social data, ads, et cetera, and bringing that data back into sort of the core sort of analytics core that we have, bringing some clever thinking behind it, and then using that data to integrate into Health Cloud and providing now our clinicians with perhaps clinical data, perhaps social data, perhaps sentiment data about patients they've never really seen before, and how do we sort of reach out to them? How do we start engaging with them? So we're using the Health Cloud platform as a sort of a strong foundation to start our sort of journey into sort of patient engagement. And use case number 1 is sort of started, and we have 5 in the pipeline for next year. So exciting times.
It's amazing. Ken, we've talked a little bit about all the different projects that you've had going on at IDEXX with your long history. What's your favorite of all of the? I know you're not supposed to have favorite children, but if you could pick one that you would really hold up, what would be the thing that moved the needle for your business?
So I've got some on my team here in the audience, and I think I'm supposed to pick one of their favorites. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
No, actually, you touched on in the demo. One of my favorites is when we rethought our business. When we have these connected devices in the field, and we have visibility to them now through the platform.
Sure.
And we said we're going to go to market differently with our most recent instrument that we launched, which is urine sediment analyzer. We're in the veterinary business. We talk a lot about pee and poop. Right?
I think that's the same in all medicine.
Yeah, so it's okay. But we launched this new instrument, SediVue, and we did it completely differently than we'd ever done it before, because it was connected. And so we knew the utilization from our customers, from the veterinarians that were doing it. We knew when they had a successful run and when they needed to rerun a sample. And we knew what they had used and when they needed consumables again. And so we took that out to the market in a completely different way, where we had always sold kind of the razor blade model.
Sure.
But we said, instead of that, we're going to sell the instrument, but then we're only going to charge you for utilization, and only when you have a successful result. And then we'll make sure you never run out of product. And our inside sales center can see that, and they can trigger those replenishments if needed. They can do it early if they are having, you know, kind of a seasonal rush or whatever. But that was a really exciting shift, because the business was actually seeing, IDEXX as a business was seeing that through the power of technology and the platform, we can change the way we go to market. And for our customers who said, so let me get this right, I'm only going to get charged when I use it, and you're going to make sure I never run out of product, solving two of the problems that every small business owner faces.
Absolutely.
They absolutely latched onto this and thought it was just, you know, this is one of the most innovative and exciting things that we had done in a while. It wasn't just the product itself, which of course is a truly innovative product,
sure,
in the sediment analyzer, the image analysis, but also the way we brought it to market was innovative. And that's really the trademark of IDEXX, why I get so excited to go into work every day, work with the team that's here and back in Maine.
That's fantastic. Congratulations about that. I have to say, the last big project that I did as a hospital executive, actually right before I came to Salesforce, was turning my hospital over onto a new technology. And I'm just going to admit to all of you that it was not the same delightful experience that Ken just described. So that is clearly the way of the future.
It was really a team effort, and it involved integration and kind of the backbone of SAP to support that,
sure,
leveraging Salesforce, you know, the discussion about interoperability and choosing platforms that are capable of that is so critical these days.
Absolutely.
Because that's a landscape and an ecosystem that all of us face.
Yeah, great. And we've talked about the data that you guys plan to collect, right? And the impact that you think that that's going to have on your customers. I think it's a really interesting story. I wonder if you could share a little bit more detail about that.
So I think one of the challenges that pharma has always had is that they haven't had the data back from the patient experience. And a lot of focus has always been on acquisition of patients versus
sure,
the adherence of patients and keeping them on therapy long term. And they don't know what is influencing that.
Yeah.
So through our technology, we're going to know if a patient has a product complaint because of a malfunction of the device. Through our contact center, we'll be able to send a clinical educator to them within 24 hours to make sure they understand how to use their medication. We're going to be able to really understand what that patient's experience has been, and then also share that information back with the physician. It's really important to have that feedback loop back to the physician, back to the prescribers if you're going to launch a patient support program. And through this, we'll be able to tell them if there's trending that we're seeing. You know, perhaps there's a certain
sure,
region of the country that's having financial issues. There's a particular region that's having shipment issues. We can be able to pull all that information together and share that back to our customer.
That's awesome. I really feel like that's kind of the last mile problem that we are just starting to solve in healthcare and life sciences. There's no doubt that we have incredible amounts of data. In fact, the data is exploding all around us. But changing data into insight and then taking that insight to the point where it can impact someone's care, I think is a really, really exciting sort of horizon to look over. What sort of impact do you think that will have on Ashfield's business?
Well, we want to be known as the company that's helping our pharma clients to improve patient outcomes. And we're going to now have a system that will be able to really show what those outcomes are proving. So the real world data of what that experience has been.
Yeah, amazing. That's incredible. I want to thank our panel for sharing these stories. This is real evidence that when we talk about collaborative, connected, personalized care, these are really not abstractions. These are the things that are making a difference to our patients, to the people who care for them in the real world today. Would you join me in giving these guys a big, big hand for joining us and sharing their story? We have 8,000 other customer stories that we could share if only we had the amount of time, but you guys probably have other sessions to get to. And I want to just point out a couple of them to you now before you dash. For those who want to learn more about Health Cloud, there is another session at, I believe it's 2:30 in the club room, which is right here in the Marriott. And so I encourage you to go check that out. And then we have a full lineup tomorrow with all sorts of sessions. In all, we've had something like 70 sessions focused on the healthcare and life sciences space. Tremendous information. It's a great community, and we really appreciate your partnership. And I hope you have a great rest of the week at Dreamforce. Thanks so much.